Alright, welcome back to another video, or a weather forecast video, and today we're going to be forecasting what looks to be a significant multi-day severe weather outbreak in the Great Plains, Midwest, and maybe even the South. So let's get into it. So first, as you can see, there is a low pressure system right here that we are going to watch very closely, and you'll see why in just a second. But the timing is right here if you guys want to see it, and then back this up 1 hour if you are, Central Time in like in these areas. Like if you're in Central Time in these areas, yeah, just back it up 1 hour. But it's 3 p.m. for me. Actually, let's go to now, which is 7. This is 7 p.m. So like I said, back this up hour at 6:15 p.m. in these areas right here. So right now there is nothing too much happening with the severe weather, but that's going to change rapidly. So as you see, the low pressure system starts to, drop the low pressure, and as it's dropping, it starts to intensify. Actually, it's not showing it right now. Let me fast forward a little bit. You see there's showers and thunderstorms already forming right here. This low pressure is going to drop if you keep this pushing. There we go, right there. This is where it starts to drop at. When it starts dropping, storms start to like pop up around these areas right here. So we're going to keep this pushing, and as you can see, there are some pop-up showers and thunderstorms in these areas. And this is tomorrow. Tomorrow's not going to be as bad with severe weather, but I think it's the next day after that that's going to be bad with severe weather. As you can see, a 988 low pressure system has formed, and HFR is showing some pretty significant storms possibly in Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, Illinois, maybe even Iowa, in those areas. So definitely keep an eye on that. But this is a 48-hour model. This is the HRR model. So we are going to move on to the next model, which is the GFS. So this is the GFS model, and as you can see, same thing, 988 low pressure system is formed right here. I'll show you the severe weather outbreaks in these areas in a moment, but there is a multi-day severe weather outbreak, and possibly even, I'm not going to put the word out actually, but I'm just saying if it does get to that point, a tornado outbreak could be possible if the conditions are right. So like I said, I'm not trying to scare nobody. I am not trying to like put the word out or anything like this. I'll be live for that, and I will cover that for you guys. So without further ado, let's just keep on moving. Like I said, don't just take this with a grain of salt. Looks like there's going to be a risk for tornadoes, so keep aware of that. As I was saying, let's keep this pushing through, and as you can see, it starts to eject off to the northeast, and the GFS is not showing it, but I feel like it's underestimating some of these areas right here. But here's the thing, another low pressure system forms right here. This one I think is going to be even stronger than the last one. And as you can see, it just deepens, and look at all these thunderstorms popping. You see this? All these thunderstorms around here from Oklahoma, Texas, all the way up to Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, and maybe even Nebraska as well. And it just forms into a huge line of severe thunderstorms, more than likely, maybe even tornadic thunderstorms in these areas. But they're going to keep on pushing to the east, and they're going to create a quasi-linear convective system, or shortened for QLCS. And you keep this pushing through, it looks like it's going to die out pretty fast around, this is April 28th, 2 p.m. So I think it will pick back up though. As you can see, it does pick back up April 28th. This is 8 p.m. Like I said, multi-day severe weather outbreak. The timing is right here, so pay attention to the timing, and you will see how, like when the storms, start to erupt. They will erupt around the PM hours, like I would say around 2 to 8 p.m. as it's showed right here, what the GFS is showing. But don't underestimate it. They can form at night also. But you keep this going, and still showing severe weather happening down in the deep south, actually. Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana. Y'all gotta watch out for maybe severe weather on April 29th. And you keep this pushing on through. The system does die out a lot. It ejects off to the north like the other one did. Dies out a lot. Maybe even a chance for severe weather in these regions right here in the mid-Atlantic and northeast. So keep an eye on that. This is April 30th, though. This is the last week of April. And like I said, I think the last week or so of April is going to be pretty active into May. And I think May may be an active month for severe weather. So keep an eye out on that. But yes, severe weather will be happening in these areas right here, more than likely on April 30th. So we definitely got to keep an eye on that. But this is pretty far out. This is almost a week out, I think. So, because today's date is, let's see, April 24th. So this is, yes, this is about like a week out. Keep an eye on this, everybody. Anybody that lives, I can't draw a line, but anybody from this area, you see where my crosshair is at, from this area, points east, watch out for severe weather. Because it may happen. It may happen. So, without further ado, let's keep on pushing this out. As you can see, the low pressure is no longer here. And we have a high pressure that forms right here. So, it's going to be a pretty warm May, I should say. Like, for the beginning of May, it's going to be really warm. Actually, next week is showing temperatures in the 90s for some reasons, for some regions down south over here in the southeast United States. And maybe even in the 80s. 88 is what I've seen over here, somewhere in the mid-Atlantic region, which is absolutely phenomenal. Honestly, like I like the hot temperatures, so this is awesome for me. But yeah, it's gonna be a nice, like, after the severe weather stuff happens in the beginning of May, it's gonna be pretty nice, pretty warm, pretty nice, pretty hot down south actually if you live down south. And yeah, like, go out inside and enjoy the weather. Honestly, it's going to be pretty nice until maybe more storms might form. But let's check that out actually. And as you can see, more storms does start to form over here in Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. And it moves on to the east more than likely. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Moves on to the east. As you can see, they die out pretty quickly though. We are at May 2nd. This is 8 a.m. May 2nd. And as you can see, this system is trying to do something, which I don't think is going to do much. Like I said, this is pretty far out, but this is what the forecast is looking like so far. As we get closer, we will tell what, events will happen and what, like how it's going to happen and what it could possibly be. But for right now, it's too far out to look at data and to go in depth into it. So we're just going to breeze on through this now. But like I was saying, nothing too much. It's going to be pretty warm. Casual, thunderstorms in some areas. Maybe even severe weather events here and there. Look at that. Maybe a severe weather event over here in the mid-Atlantic again. And yeah, that's what the GFS is showing so far. Let's go to the NAM. So this is the NAM model. This is similar to the ARRR, but it adds a couple more hours to it. And the NAM doesn't forecast severe weather too well, but it is still a reliable forecasting model. So we are going to look at that and we're going to see what it looks like in the future. This is 60 hours out. So let's go to now, which is 7 p.m. Yes, 7 p.m. And back this up 1 hour at 6 p.m. for these regions right here. As you can see, nothing is happening. It's a clear day, nice day to be honest with you guys. And you keep this pushing on through. Maybe severe thunderstorms, severe weather may happen. What is this? 10 a.m. This is early April 5th, so this is tomorrow morning. And yes, you have your casual showers and thunderstorms, maybe even a couple of severe thunderstorms in some of those areas. But it is not going to be anything close related to what is going to happen in the next couple of days, like I've been saying. As you can see, storms start to break out in Iowa, Minnesota, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Texas, and it starts moving east as a quasi-linear convective system, what I've been looking at. But this is just the first storm. There's 2 storms that we have to worry about from what I've seen. This is all new, by the way, that I'm looking at. So I'm looking at this like how you guys are looking at this right now, because this is all brand new to me. But yeah, 2 storm systems it looks like. 989 low pressure system, basically the same thing, and it just keeps on chugging. Look at that. Look at this storm. Look at this. Look at this line right here. Let's zoom into that. Can we zoom into that? Let's zoom into that. Look at that. Look at this line in Iowa. Looks crazy. That looks like a squall line and a half right there. Maybe even embedded supercells in those. Gotta watch those. Because this is close to the low pressure, and the closer you are to the low pressure, the higher the winds are, the greater the tornado risk. So, definitely watch that. And those of you that want to see the Storm Prediction Center, this is the Storm Prediction Center for today's outlook. This is day 1 convective outlook. As you can see, there's a 2% chance for a tornado in a 25 miles of a given location. And, a wind risk, not too high. Neither is a tornado risk either. And then the hail risk, 15% hatch area. It's not super high, but there's a hatch risk, so you have to worry about significant hail as well. Like I said, this is just the beginning stages of this. This is today. This is happening right now. We may look at the forecast right now, actually, for regions in Texas. So definitely watch out in Texas. I think Texas, you're in a severe weather risk all week. So get ready for that. Then we move on to day 2 convective outlook. This is tomorrow, and tomorrow looks a lot more significant than today, like from a long shot. Let's start with the hail risk. Hail risk is very high for tomorrow. You have a 30% hatched risk area that you got to worry about. Then you have a 15% hatched risk, and you have a 15% non-hatched risk area. As you can see, the yellow is a 15%, the red is a 30%, and the 5% is the brown. So as you can see, it stretches all the way up almost to Montana, which is pretty crazy. Not gonna lie, this is pretty early in the year for Montana, in Wyoming specifically, actually. But yeah, definitely watch out for this event right here. This event could be significant. I will be going live for this tomorrow to cover this event. And I will be live as long as, no crazy tornadoes happen or anything like that. But then you have the wind risk, which the wind risk isn't really that high. I don't think it's the main threat at all. I think the main threat, in my opinion, is definitely the 10% tornado risk, 10% hatched tornado risk to be exact, actually. A hatch risk is it's an upgraded risk from like a regular severe weather, outlook. A hatch area means that there is a significant risk for severe weather, so definitely pay attention to this. As you can see, this is the hatch area, the black lines inside the yellow area, that's the hatch risk. And it says the cities that are in the hatch risk: Garden City, Kansas; Dodge City, Kansas; Hayes, Kansas; Great Bend, Kansas; Hardward, Kansas, or Oklahoma, sorry. That is in the hatch risk area. Same thing with the 10% tornado risk. So definitely keep an eye on that. Like I said, tomorrow, I think the hail and the tornado threat is going to be the highest. So I definitely will be live for that to cover that. So stay tuned for that for tomorrow. This is April 24th, guys. So keep an eye, or April 25th, sorry. So keep an eye on that. Now, let's move on to day 3. Day 3, there's a significant risk. Once again, there you see the hatchery, you see the black line right here, and inside the black line there's like kind of like dotted lines. It's not dotted, but it's like straight lines inside the hatch, the black line, the big black line outside. That is a significant risk right there. There is a significant risk for severe weather. We can't tell what it is yet. We don't know if it's just tornadoes. We don't know if it's hail. We don't know if it's damaging winds. Personally, I think this might be a huge damaging wind threat just by the looks of it. But I won't be surprised if there is a, pretty big risk for tornadoes in this area also because of the low pressure system and how it's, forming. So definitely keep an eye on that. But this is day 3. Now we go to day 4. And I think day 4 might be the most significant out of them all. We already have a 30% risk in Oklahoma, Kansas, and a little bit of northern Texas, north central Texas to be exact. And then you have this huge 15% that stretches all the way up to Michigan. Look at that. That's Michigan right there. All the way up to Michigan, Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas. Big 15% area. And you have this 30% right here. Definitely got to watch out for that. I think this might be the worst day out of them all for severe weather. I would say tornado-wise as well. I think this area could see a lot of tornadoes, maybe, possibly, if this, stays like this. If the data we're seeing right now, like if it continues to show that there is a severe weather risk or maybe even a tornado risk, then they're going to keep it and possibly even upgrade it if it's that significant. But for right now, we're not going to go too far and not too in-depth into it. We still got 4 days until we know exactly what is going to happen. And for right now, this is just a brief overview, but be aware of this. And this is the day 5 outlook. So day 5 outlook looks significant also, but there is no 30% risk for right now. I think that's going to change. But for right now, there's a 15% in almost the same exact area. It's just a little bit farther to the east. And it's going to keep on chugging to the east, guys. Like I said, if you guys are like around in this area, points east, definitely watch out for severe weather. I think there's going to be severe weather for this entire area right here. So just be weather aware. Be ready for, severe thunderstorms, hail, damaging winds, maybe a couple of tornadoes. Like I said, it's gonna be really active out there. And there is no day 6 or day 7 or day 8, but there's day 4 and day 5. So definitely watch out for that. Now we are on the European model, and this is the same thing, or almost the same thing as the GFS model, but it's 2 different models. They show 2 different things most of the time. So let's look at this one, see what this one shows. As you can see, you can see all these warm temperatures. You see the 540 line. That's the colder temperatures up there in Canada and all that. And this is the 546 line. In the middle, you see all this. This is all warm temperatures right here. I'm talking like 70s, maybe even 80s in some areas right here. So, like I said, it's gonna be pretty warm. So definitely get prepared for that. But this is a ridge, as you can see. This is a ridge. It's going up. It's building up, and then you see the dip in the jet stream right here. This is the trough that's ejecting off to the northeast. As you can see, there's a low pressure system right there, and this ridge is gonna get bigger. This ridge is gonna get a lot bigger. So let's just move this out through and see what it looks like. As you can see, as I move this through, the ridge is starting to intensify and get a lot bigger, and it is starting to, the storm system is starting to eject off to the north and east still, but the dip in the jet stream is getting a little bit lower. You see the 540 line right here? You see that it's dipping a little bit lower, but that is going to push off to the east. That will no longer be there once this entire ridge takes over. I think this ridge is going to take over, and it's going to be really warm for a long time. So definitely get ready for that. But as you can see, the European is showing storms and a 989 low pressure system. This is the second storm, by the way. 989 low pressure system. And it starts forming a lot of showers and thunderstorms in these areas. You got to watch that. I'm telling you guys, you got to watch these storms. Could be some significant storms out there today, tomorrow, and the following days are coming up. So definitely look out for that. And you can see the comet head shape starting to form right there with the low pressure system. And then the ridge is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, wow. It keeps on getting bigger. Looks pretty, yeah, looks like a storm system to me, honestly. Look at that. Look at this area. This is where you got to watch the storms at, right in front of the low pressure. You see this is low pressure right there. This is storms over here. But as you can see, it's showing the same thing as the GFS model. I'm not gonna go too in depth into it. But it's basically the same thing as a GFS model, so definitely watch that. Look at that. A lot more storms start to form, too. Multiple storm systems start to form. Actually, this might be our second storm right here. That was the first storm I showed. I'm sorry. Yeah, the ridge is definitely building up. Look at that. Wow. Definitely be weather aware. This is all new data I'm looking at right now. Sorry I keep flashing the screen, y'all. But yeah, this is looking pretty significant. But for right now, I think that's all I have for you guys. I'm not gonna go to the live weather, like what's happening right now. I think right now it's just average showers and thunderstorms. I don't think it's gonna be anything crazy tonight. But tomorrow I will be live for whatever severe weather event happens, as long as it's not too late. Because if it happens too late, I will not be able to go live. But if I won't be able to go live tomorrow, I will definitely be able to go live the following days for these severe weather events that are happening. So stay tuned for those. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I'll be live tonight actually for gaming if you guys want to see that. And I will have another video up tomorrow probably. So I will see you guys. Until next time, peace.